Well, Julie, violent crime stats for the first month of a year were the best we've seen in almost a decade until January 27th. That's when the city recorded its first homicide of 2025. Since that day, major crimes detectives have been busy and the violence has been consistent.
And then we've had a string these last few days that have kind of put us back on track with what we saw last calendar year.
Mayor Danny Avula speaks about a trend of violence we've seen in the city in recent days.
Yeah, you know, the chief and I meet every week, and he, in real time, anytime there's a significant incident, he will text me and the CEA immediately. So there's really good real-time reporting about what's happening around the city.
I know we spoke on the phone Friday. I was on the way to that shooting in the East End, and it's a 15-year-old boy who was shot multiple times. The youth part of this too is a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I think our police force, and not just the police force, but again in partnership with our prevention-oriented partners, both our Department of Justice Services, other partners like VCU, and others around town who have really ramped up their efforts to engage youth, to really focus in on youth who are at higher risk for gun violence. But I think the reality remains that as guns are so widely available and have become in many places a part of the violence culture, we've got to figure out how to give kids a different pathway.
And a pathway of a cold and callous killing infected the Midtown area last week. These men, seen walking from Lemon Cuisine of India restaurant on West Broad, are wanted for questioning in the stabbing death of Kyron Folks.
You know, listen, the entire city is of concern to me, and I think the Lemon one is an interesting example because, you know, this was a restaurant that normally runs regular food service, but has recently started doing later night activities, right? Hosting karaoke nights, renting space out. And so I think, you know, there is just a concern every time that there is alcohol involved and increasing, you know, just across society-wide, an increasing inability to resolve arguments and conflict in productive ways, and that leading to violence. And you know, in that particular case, it was a stabbing, but much more often it's easy access to guns, and that has much more severe consequences.
And Mayor Avula says in the coming weeks and months he will meet with law enforcement leaders and ask what preventions and policies can be added to help them fight violent crime in the city. Reporting live in Richmond tonight, Jon Burkett, CBS 6 News.